The more competent you are, the longer you can survive in fine. You can function for years, decades, while slowly disconnecting from yourself. If you were actually fine, you wouldn't need to say it out loud. People would see it. I'm tired. This isn't, I need sleep. This isn't, I had a long week. You're not tired from effort. You're tired from misalignment, from waking up and living a life that doesn't match your internal truth. Numb looks calm, but numb is not peace. Numb is shut down. It's what happens when your nervous system decides it can't keep pretending. Numb is the warning. It's the final alert before something gives. Help doesn't mean everything falls apart. It means you stop lying. It means you interrupt the pattern. It might be asking one question you've been avoiding. Peace is not escape. Peace is alignment. It's what happens when your actions stop arguing with your values. When staying the same becomes harder than change, peace is the reward for choosing yourself. There's a version of life that looks productive, responsible, stable. It's the version of life most people chase, the version people compliment, the version people envy. And it's quietly destroying people. Not dramatically, not publicly, not in a way that triggers intervention. I'm talking about the slow kind, the kind that doesn't explode. It just erodes. Everything technically works. The job works. Their business works. Family's good. Body's working fine. Schedule works. But you don't feel alive inside of it. You still show up. You still perform. You still handle your responsibilities. But you feel distant from yourself. Disconnected. Like you're watching your own life instead of living it. This episode is not for someone who's falling apart. This episode is for the person who looks fine and knows that's the problem. Because fine is the most dangerous place self-deception hides. And if you're listening to this thinking, this doesn't apply to me, it probably applies to you more than anyone. So don't listen to this to feel better. Listen to this to get honest. Let's start with the first lie. I'm fine. This card says, I'm fine. For the audio listeners, it literally says, I'm fine. I want to be very clear right away. I'm fine is not a lie. It's much worse. It's a stall tactic. People say I'm fine when they don't want follow-up questions. They say it when the truth would create friction. They say it when honesty would require a decision or an action. I'm fine doesn't mean everything is okay. It means nothing is on fire yet. It's the phrase capable adults use when collapse would be inconvenient. Heck, when is it convenient? You don't say I'm fine because it's accurate. You say it because it ends the conversation, period. It closes the loop. It buys you time. It keeps expectations manageable. It keeps accountability away. It keeps the pressure off. And here's where it gets dangerous. The more competent you are, the longer you can survive in fine. You can function for years, decades, while slowly disconnecting from yourself. You can build things, grow things, manage things, and still feel empty inside. Fine is how responsible people avoid responsibility for themselves. Fine is what you say when you don't want to disappoint anyone. Fine is what you say when you don't want to admit you're out of alignment. Fine is what you say when you don't want to slow down long enough to feel. Here's the truth most people don't want to hear. If you were actually fine, you wouldn't need to say it out loud. People would see it. People who are fine don't rehearse the sentence. They don't defend it. They don't justify it. I'm fine isn't confidence. It's containment. I'm tired. This card says I'm tired. And this is where people start to normalize what shouldn't be normal. This isn't, I need sleep. This isn't, I had a long week. This is cumulative exhaustion. This is where the weight of pretending, the cost of holding it together, the fatigue of doing everything except the thing you know actually matters. You're not tired from effort. You're tired from misalignment. From waking up and living a life that doesn't match your internal truth. This is what happens when discipline outpaces honesty. When productivity replaces purpose. When responsibility becomes an excuse to avoid yourself. Tired doesn't go away on vacation because it's not physical. It's existential. Burnout isn't caused by doing too much. Burnout is caused by doing wrong things for far too long and then calling it mature or grit. This is where valid reasons start to sound noble. Work is intense right now. This season is demanding. Once things calm down, life doesn't calm down. You either adjust or you erode. Tired is your body asking, heck, begging you to choose differently. And your mind negotiating instead. I'm numb. This card says, I'm numb. This is the stage people are least honest about. Because numb doesn't sound dramatic. It doesn't look like failure. It doesn't even get attention. Numb looks responsible. Numb looks calm. Numb looks like control. But numb is not peace. Numb is shut down. It's what happens when your nervous system decides it can't keep pretending. Numb shows up when motivation stops working. When wins don't register anymore. When rest doesn't restore you. When distraction doesn't distract. You don't feel bad. You don't feel good. You just feel muted. Here's the part most people don't want to hear. Numb is not a personality trait. It's not who you are, and it's definitely not maturity. Numb is a biological response to prolonged self-betrayal. It's your body saying, I can't keep doing this version of your life. And here's what matters. Numb is not the problem. Numb is the warning. It's the final alert before something gives. That something might be your health, your marriage, your patience, your integrity, or your sense of meaning. Most people don't hit rock bottom. They slowly suffocate in comfort. They numb out instead of burning out. They disengage instead of exploding. They go quiet instead of getting honest. And from the outside, it looks stable. Inside, it's erosion. Numb is not failure. Numb is your body begging you to tell the truth. And if you ignore it long enough, life will make the decision for you. If you're honest, you recognize yourself on at least one of those cards. Here's the part that matters. Most people stop right there. They nod. They scroll. They say, that was interesting. And that's how nothing changes. Awareness without action is just another form of avoidance. This is where people either tell the truth or reinforce the lie. This is where ownership starts. Hope you're ready for this one. I need help. This card says I need help, and it's where the ego gets exposed, because help has been mislabeled. Help has been framed as a weakness. Help has been framed as a failure. Help has been framed as collapse. It's a lie. Help is not a weakness. Help is ownership. Help is the moment you stop pretending you can out-discipline misalignment. High performers don't fail because they're incapable. They fail because they refuse support long after it's necessary. They keep trying to solve internal problems with external control. More discipline, more productivity, more structure, more willpower. None of that fixes a life you're avoiding. Help doesn't mean everything falls apart. It means you stop lying. It means you interrupt the pattern. Help might look smaller than you think. It might be saying it out loud to one person. It might be removing one numbing behavior. It might be asking one question you've been avoiding. It might be simply professional support. Help doesn't fix your life. It stops the bleeding. And here's the part people hate. If you don't choose help, life will assign it. My favorite. Peace. This card says peace. And this is where people get it wrong. Peace is not rest. Peace is not vacation. Peace is not escape. Peace is alignment. It's what happens when your actions stop arguing with your values. Peace is when you no longer need to look fine. Peace is when you stop managing impressions and start managing the truth. You don't get peace by fixing everything. You get peace by telling the truth and adjusting accordingly. Peace doesn't come from control. It comes from congruence, from living in a way your nervous system can trust, from choosing yourself without justification. If you've been listening to me for any amount of time, you know that I don't ever give up my peace. Guys, if this episode hit, it's because you already knew. You don't need more information. You don't need another plan. You don't need permission. Definitely not from me. You need to stop calling it fine. Because fine is comfortable. And comfort is expensive. It costs you time. It costs you presence. It costs you truth. And eventually, it'll cost you your peace. When staying the same becomes harder than change, peace is the reward for choosing yourself. Please rate and share this podcast. I'm active on all social platforms and love to hear from my Siegel supporters. Each and every episode is sponsored by my company, National Technology Management, the easiest and best IT company to do business with, delivering peace of mind with technology every day, even simplifying cybersecurity. Visit trustntm.com for more info. Until next week, be harder than life.